Hi guys, welcome to another exciting video of the Slice of X. It's your girl once again, Bex here. Okay, so today we're going to change it up a bit. I'm going to make something that I've not really made in a very long time. And can you guess what it is? Not for the suspense. Got it from the headline. That's right, vegetable soup and pounded yam. Growing up in my family house, like where I live with my parents, we're the typical Igbo family. Every night we're eating swallow with one kind of soup. Like every night as dinner, we don't miss a bit. So vegetable soup is actually one of my favorites because it's very versatile. You can eat it with yam, rice, swallow, almost anything. You can eat it alone. So it's one of my favorite soups. And like I said, we eat it every night, and you know, I kind of develop a skill when it comes to, turning down pound dough. When it comes to any part of swallow, I have to give myself, a star. I give myself an A star for it. Because, when you're making it every night, you make it every night fresh. So every night I'm turning pounded yam, I'm turning salmon, I'm turning wheat, I'm turning one kind of swallow. So I'm pretty good at it. So I'm going to give you guys my tips and tricks on how to make, bumpless, sweet, smooth, swallow. That would be pounded yam, and how to make a very easy and fast, delicious vegetable soup. So we're going to do this together. Come and join me and see how I make my vegetable soup and pounded.
Okay, so here we have all our ingredients laid out. We have everything out that we're going to use for this food. We have our meat, our fish, pomo, sliced pomo, very sliced and washed it. Our locust beans, 2 Maggi, pepper, that's also fresh Cameroon pepper, and onions, and a bit of crayfish, just a small tiny crayfish. And then we have our leaf laid out. This is already washed. This is our ugu, saint leaf, and spinach. If you have yet to like and subscribe to my channel, please do that. Hit the subscription button so you, and also hit the notification bell so you'll be receiving notifications whenever I post my video. Like it and comment. Okay, so we have our pot of meat. I've already put it inside the pot with water, and now I'm just adding our Maggi into the pot. We're going to let that simmer for a while. Once it has simmered, we're going to add our chopped onions. I like to dice it really tiny into a square. I'll show another video of the way I dice my onions so you can get a drift of how it's meant to be done. So once we turn that onions, we're going to cover the pot and allow it to cook a bit. Once the meat has already cooked to a certain degree, we're going to turn it, and then we're going to add our pomo, our sliced pomo. Turn that a bit and let that all simmer together. We want to get a very nice consistency in texture and also a nice consistency in taste. As you can see, the meat and the pomo has already cooked very well. We're going to add our grated pepper, that's Cameroon pepper, and our blended crayfish. So once we have added the pepper and crayfish, we'll turn it around and allow it to simmer a bit. So as you can see, the water in the pot is quite small because we don't use a lot of water for vegetable soup. So once that have simmered, we're going to add our locust beans. We're going to turn that a bit so it can simmer very well and cook with the meat broth. Once that has cooked a bit, we're going to add our palm oil. I use my eyes to measure the palm oil. We'll just add a bit, like I would say a few spoons, depending on the size or quantity of soup we're making. So this soup is actually very small because it's just for like 4 servings. So we're going to add small palm oil. We're going to turn that a bit and allow that to cook. As you can see, the water is very small too. Once that have cooked to a certain degree, we're going to go ahead and now put in my favorite part will be the fish. I prefer using, this is actually smoked fish. I prefer to use smoked fish. You can also use dry fish if you're not a fan of bones, because smoked fish does have a lot of bones inside. But I love the smell and the consistency and this aroma of smoked fish. I prefer to use that. So I'll now turn the ingredients, and we're going to head on now to put in our vegetables. Now, because the leaf is so much, we're going to put a few at a time. And once we put the vegetables inside the pot, because the pot is not so large to contain the vegetables, we can't really turn it. As you see, it's now falling. So I'm going to actually turn it a bit and allow it to simmer so the vegetables can now shrink and be easier to turn. So once it has shrunk a bit, I'll turn it round until I can get all the ingredients distributed around all the vegetables and get everything evenly distributed into the soup. So once I've turned that, I'll turn that some more. As you can see, I fully turned the vegetables. You can see the meat, you can see the fish, you can see the locust beans, you can see all the vegetables, and you can also see the water. The water is very small. We don't use much water in vegetable soup. The water is only really meant to be coming from the broth of the meat, which you can see here. So we'll turn the vegetable soup a bit more. I mean, this looks really good, guys. We're already done. It's very easy and simple to make vegetable soup. It's good, delicious, and very healthy. So now we're going to my favorite part, which will be turning the pounded yam. I've already put water in the pot and the water has now boiled. We're ready to put in our mix. The particular brand of pounded yam mix I'm using is Ayola Foods. You will turn the water before you start putting the flour mix. That's the pounded yam mix. You will turn it and make sure it starts having a nice consistency. Once the water has almost dried, you will drop the mix and start turning it. You have to turn in a circular motion and also in a forward and backward motion. That is to eliminate any bumps or what we may call it as a cocoa inside the pounded yam. So I will continue to turn and turn and turn and turn until you can be satisfied without turning. You have to have very, very good upper arm strength to do this. Actually, we're going to continue to turn it so you can eliminate whatever cocoa may be inside. So we're going to turn this a bit. And now what I do, my particular trick I use in making sure there's no bumps or the pounded yam is very soft, I put hot water. I pre-boil it again after boiling the water, turning the pounded yam with the mix and the water. I will now boil it again with what I've already turned. As you can see, I put a bit of small water inside. I'll now turn the pounded yam a bit to make sure the water reaches underneath the pounded yam mixture. So I'll close it and allow that to cook a bit. Once you can see the water has almost dried up, the water has to be dried up. You can't have so much water before you start turning it. I'll start turning it. As you can see, this particular part is very crucial because it actually melts whatever bumps that may be there, and then it gives you a more nicer, softer, and more delicious texture. So once I've done that, I'll make sure I'll turn it some more. You can definitely see the difference between the previous turning and this turning. The batter of the pounded yam, it's more lighter, and then it has this kind of texture, more softer texture. So yeah, we're done. And there we have it, guys. We have made our delicious vegetable soup and pounded yam. It looks really, really good and it smells great. Okay, so now we're moving on to the testing. You can already see from the smell that's forming my face that I am just excited because of the smell. And here we go. Wow, this turned out really nice, guys. Very delicious. Thumbs up.